Argentina have suffered from the late withdrawal of their sweeper and captain in 1978, Daniel Passarella, who has a stomach problem, and prefer Pasculi, now playing in Italy for Lecce, instead of young Claudio Borghi, who succeeded Lecce at Argentinos Juniors. South Korea have on paper a rather defensive-looking lineup. They include 3 central defenders. Jung Young-hwan, wearing number 5, has recovered from injury and presumably will play in front of the back 4. But their 2 stars could well be the front players, Cha Bung-kun and Chae Sun-ho.
And Argentina, the 1978 World Cup winners with the great Diego Maradona against...
And it's Argentina who get us away, and immediately in possession, Maradona. An early receipt of the ball for Oh Yoon Kyo. 17, Hu Young Moo. Side has changed a bit since they lost to Malaysia. In the qualifying matches, 1 or 2 players have been promoted from their Olympic side. Already it would appear that the front 2 are a little isolated. Clausen. Back to Brown, the player who's come in place of Passarella. Brown, number 5, playing at the back as the sweeper. Maradona looks as though he's going to be shadowed by number 12, Kim Byung-suk. Maradona. The first free kick for the challenge on him. And it will be very interesting to see whether Maradona is prepared, as he suggested then, to run at the South Koreans. That's what happened, you'll remember, in 1966 with the North Koreans, when suddenly Eusebio decided, away with tactics, I'm just going to run at them. And he did so to great effect to save a match when they were 3-0 down. And they went to the semi-finals at 5-3. This is South Korea playing in their 2nd World Cup, previous one being in 1954. And Maradona finding Clausen.
Maradona passed that ball off. Everyone expects him to shoot. He has a hard shot, bending shot, much like the Brazilians, but I think they figured Korea might have been expecting it, and he changed it to a different set play. But the Koreans were ready for it.
Number 8, Nestor, to take the throw. Long throw well into the penalty area. Argentina going in, but the Korean defense well up to it. Number 14, Ricardo. But a breakaway now by these very, very fleet-footed Koreans. This is their threat. Chipping it into the centre. Oh, and pulled down. Surely there. A kick. Yes, without question. Almost like rugby football as he was going through. Very, very well tackled if it had been the 15-a-side game.
Very fast break and a good through ball. And the Korean definitely had him beat. The Argentinian had to pull him back. I'll tell you what, that almost looked like a yellow card.
Very close to it indeed. I think the referee quite lenient. And Maradona trying to get some clarification there, but it is the first set play of the game to the South Koreans, and we saw a beautiful example there of their tremendous pace in counter-attack. Now, whether they can keep this up at this altitude remains to be seen, but they're well-prepared athletes and very fast. And so the first set play just outside the box. This is a dangerous area. The Argentinian wall has been formed. Seems to be some uncertainty in the Korean organization for this set play, and they try to bend the ball round the wall and they don't succeed, but they still have possession. Number 2, Park, trying to make progress down the wing, and the physical superiority of the Argentinian defender there, pushing the ball out.
As in yesterday's game with Canada and France, I think that Argentina has to be very careful they don't take the Koreans too lightly. As we've seen already with the one quick break they've had, they're a very well-prepared team.
Oscar moving it up to Sergio. Argentina, long ball. Maradona in possession again, showing his tremendous skill, and once again hacked down. The Argentinians are feeling that this should be a yellow card. The referee telling the Korean defenders that they have to tackle fairly and go for the ball and not the man. And Argentina, of course, concerned about Maradona's knee. There are many who feel that he should have had an operation on this knee, which is somewhat suspect. He has decided, wisely or not, we shall see perhaps in a moment, to delay the operation because of his desire to play in this World Cup competition, and therefore the defenders certainly going in hard because they realize the great threat that Maradona poses. Here we see him coming through, and no attempt whatsoever to play that ball. That deserved a yellow card without question. We remind you that we are bringing you this game from the Olympic Stadium in Mexico City, Argentina versus South Korea, because there have been electrical problems in Irapuato and no pictures coming from that venue where the Soviet Union are playing Hungary. So we will do our best to bring you this backup game as we see the ministering to Maradona and we see the reason for him having to have that treatment. No attempt whatsoever by the Korean defender to play that ball. The referee being very lenient at this point. This cannot surely go on if these superstars are to remain healthy throughout these competitions. They're so important to their teams, but of course they are marked men by the defenders. And the South Koreans not noted for their viciousness and their professional fouling, certainly, and one cannot condone this sort of behavior. Trying to bend it round the wall, not succeeding, but Argentina in possession. A big chance now for a shot, and it's there. Certainly capitalizing. Number 11 for Argentina, Jorge, Alberto Valdano Jorge, puts Argentina ahead as a result of play which followed the set play following Maradona's foul. Here we see it again.
The Koreans had all overplayed the free kick by Maradona and were cut when he headed the ball back in. It was a tremendous shot through a lot of traffic, no chance for the goalie. But this is something that Korea did not want to happen so early in the game, not with the skillful Argentinians now being able to stroke the ball about with the pressure being off after scoring the first goal.
So Jorge Valdano puts them ahead, and now with this early goal, we are likely to see Argentinian confidence burgeoning and then beginning to play this ball about the park with a great deal of confidence and making these South Koreans do an awful lot of running. Maradona in possession, recovered from that foul. And a long probing ball, some beautiful running to space, but the goalkeeper out in anticipation ahead of Buragacha, who were chasing that ball. Now the South Koreans bringing it out. A long ball by South Korea for their pace, but well cleared by the Argentinian defense, and Guisti puts it safely back to the goalkeeper. Argentina bringing the ball out. Very confident, swinging it about, showing their great technical skills. Clausen. Support, building quietly. Batista to Buragacha. And switching this ball about with Maradona linking all the time, looking around, lots of time to play this. South Korea not challenging, and now nice move down the left flank. Can he move across and beat his marker? No, puts it back for support. Playing very heavily on Maradona's generalship. But the Koreans massing in defense, but still not able to clear that ball safely. Another threat from Argentina. Here comes the cross. Two Koreans there to one Argentinian, and heading it away safely, Kim of Korea.
I think we're seeing a different Diego Maradona than we saw in Spain in '82. He's matured a lot more, he's more of a leader, and he's able to handle that hard tackling a lot better.
There's Yu of Korea moving it up. Choi, but Argentina now in possession. Batista. Argentina, very, very slow, leisurely build-up in midfield. Garre moving it across there. Argentina, a give and go, and he gets a chance for another shot, but that will come off a Korean defender for a corner. And we have a message from Irapuato. In that game, Soviet Union versus Hungary, the score in the very early stages of that game, Soviet Union 2, Hungary 0. So the Soviets coming on very, very strongly in the opening minutes of that game and showing that they are a team to be reckoned with in this competition. There goes the punching out by the Korean goalkeeper Cho, but Argentina seizing upon the ball and beginning to roll it about with ease and confidence and switching play to try to stretch this Korean defense. Another threat down the wing, the cross immediately over, but the Korean defense able to handle that ball and kick it clear. Whitley looking for support, finding none and putting it back to the supporting midfield. Batista swinging it about. Maradona, ever the general, seeing a man free on the left side. Here comes the cross. Argentina beginning to exert their overwhelming power in this game, in this early stage, buoyed by that early goal by Valdano.
Jeff, I think they're giving Diego Maradona much too much room. He's being able to pick out people, and when you give a player with that much talent this much time, he'll tear you apart.
Maradona always on hand. Much more mature player 4 years later than he was in Spain, when eventually his frustration overcame him and he had the ignominious experience of being ordered off the field. Now 4 more years of experience under his belt, and certainly the linchpin of this Argentinian team. But a breakaway by Korea, a chance for them to use their pace down this left flank. Pushing back for support and receiving it, beating his man, well played. A good tackle there by Clausen, going for the ball, not as we saw in that earlier foul on Maradona, going for the man. But chance for Korea. Argentinian defenders massing in the goal mouth. Almiron, the goalkeeper, organizing his defense. Here he comes. Out chance for Korea. Spraying it out to the right side to spread this Argentinian defense. Oh, and a beautiful shot from outside the area, and that was not too far wide.
Park was het. Park Sang-soo. De kleinste man op het veld. Met een meter 70. En dat is een beetje verwonderlijk. We denken altijd als van Koreaan denken aan kleine gele mannetjes. Dat is helemaal niet het geval. Er is er zelfs een bij van 1,92 meter en heel wat van 1,80 meter. Maar wat opvallend is dat ze zowat allemaal minstens 10 kilogram onder wat men bij ons het ideaal gewicht pleegt te noemen. Burutsaga tegen de paal. Ja, dus vanavond en was de grote man al bij Independiente in 84 voor zijn overgang. En dat is toch wel wat, Maradona en daarachter nog een Burutsaga.
Back in the Olympic Stadium in Mexico City with 11 minutes gone in this game. Argentina ahead of South Korea, 1-0. With a goal by Jorge Valdano, following a set play which resulted from a vicious foul on Maradona. And here again, the target of the enthusiastic and not always concentrated South Korean defense, concentrated in the sense that instead of going for the ball, they occasionally go for the legs. Loads of time to put this cross in. Argentinians in the area, but straight at the goalkeeper. This may be a very difficult and long day for the Korean goalkeeper Cho. Moving it. Valdano, the goal scorer, but losing possession. And the challenge there against Young-tae, and therefore a kick to South Korea. Long probing ball, but the Argentinian defense well able to handle that threat. Now Korea a chance to build up again. Playing the same sort of tactics as Argentina in the sense of trying to spread out this defense with some cross-field balls, but it's these forward balls that will bring the results. That one a little too strong and into touch. So it's the throw to Argentina. Porcini. Batista. Chaga moving it. Argentina very slow, very patient in their build-up. And good anticipation by the Korean defense, heading it well clear, but only to an Argentinian defender. Gare pushing it through. Long ball. Maradona having moved into space, but closely attended. But again, a nice through pass, but very good anticipation and marking by the South Korean defense. No pressure whatsoever for this Argentinian side. One goal up, the Koreans very reluctant to press them at all until they get into the defensive third. Argentina quite content to build up slowly and then release a man with a quick through pass like that. No foul that time. Maradona ran into the Argentinian defender. Into the Korean defender, sorry. The Korea start their build-up. Only two players forward at the moment for South Korea, with three Argentinian defenders marking them. So the odds are not in favor. Oh, and again, another, surely a yellow card this time, a clear-cut rugby tackle. That's the second occasion. The referee seems to be very content to pass this by with no more than a cautionary word. It cannot surely continue. This seems to me not to be the way to treat the great players in the game if they're going to be constantly brought down.
I don't think that Korea can afford to keep giving away these free kicks to the Argentina scored off the last one.
And they
made the goal. En het is Ruggeri. Ja, mooi hoor. Wel, hij is helemaal, zoals ik zei, de opvolger van Passarea. Passarea, penalty specialist en geweldig met het hoofd op corner. Van River Plate, hij is 24. En hij moest in staking gaan om bij River Plate te geraken. Boca Juniors wilde hem niet lossen. Dus tot nog toe de enige ploeg die al 2 keer scoorde in 1 wedstrijd. En dat was Choi. Ook geen kleine met...
Oh, now the miracles of modern technology take us once again from Irapuato briefly to the Olympic Stadium in Mexico City. That was a master control punching up onto the CBC video, so we are back in Olympic Stadium and we see the third foul on Diego Maradona. Surely the referee cannot continue to tolerate this, and the Argentinians are trying to describe and discuss this with him.
Maradona again taking this all very, very well. He has matured a lot since 4 years in Spain, but the referee will have to start doing something about this. He must give out a yellow card. They can't just keep chopping Maradona down.
But they have rightly paid the penalty in other ways, in the sense that they are 2 goals down as a result of 2 fouls, which resulted in 2 set plays, the second of which resulted in a goal directly from the set play, and the first one which resulted in some loose play immediately after that set play to put Argentina 2 goals ahead. South Koreans in the Argentinian half, and nice ball down the left flank. Hasn't got any support, so has to try to get that cross in with the Argentinians overwhelming him numerically, but it does result in the corner. Therefore, South Korea have a chance from this set play to try to come closer to the Argentinian threat. Kim of South Korea, 6'4". There he is. He gets up to that ball. It's unusual, perhaps. We don't anticipate Koreans to be tall people, but 6'4" is useful for a high ball in the area. Didn't work that time. Maradona trapping it on his chest and breaking away. Avoiding the tackles this time. But again, South Korea tackling well and getting the ball that time. Bok Tang-sung moving it out. Going to be a shot, and it's a good shot, but from long range, and the Argentinian goalkeeper Almiron well able to handle that. As we see Clausen, who seems to be in a bit of trouble there. I think that ball struck him en route. Probably knocked a little bit of wind out of his sails. And so Argentina content to literally walk this ball out, finding their men as Batista's in possession. South Korea offering absolutely no challenge at all as Argentina walk this ball out, and they'll be delighted to do that all day. Gives them time to show their great technique and skill, playing the ball one to another in a 10 or 15 meter area, playing right into their hands, and then the occasional probing ball, but this time Cho able to handle that.
Maradona is definitely the center of this Argentine team. He's been in almost all the moves, and he's playing very well. Already assisted on 2 goals, having a very fine day.
Cho Kwang-rae coming on as substitute now for South Korea, and 12 coming off Pyung-suk Kim, who was intended to mark Maradona, and obviously this has failed. Korea there almost with a chance, but muffing it, and it going safely wide for a goal kick. Alberto Pompido, the Argentinian goalkeeper, sending the ball well upfield, deep into the Korean half. Maradona again slipping it forward, running for the return, but being intercepted. Now Maradona a chance to take his man on. Korean defense coming back very quickly to stifle the threat. Woo Young-moo of South Korea able to stifle that threat, but the result is a corner, which Maradona himself will take. Argentina 2 goals ahead after 25 minutes as Maradona takes this corner. Doesn't find its target. Clausen moves it inside, and Argentina pushing it back to mark and mount their offense again.
Argentina is very comfortable in this game, and they're just strolling. I think their biggest fear they got to be careful of is not to become too complacent and allow the Koreans back in the game, because right now it's definitely a one-sided game.
Giusti, Maradona out on the right, and there he is to receive that ball. Beats his man very, very easily. And another, but a little bit of acting there, I think, on that one. While undoubtedly he was fouled, it was not as vicious as the earlier tackling. Shakes his head in disbelief, wonders what he has to do to be allowed to play this game.
Well, Jeff, I still think he's getting more room in this game than he'll get in most of his other qualifying games, and so far the Koreans have paid very dearly for the free kicks.
This another one. And the South Korean goalkeeper, remembering the last two results of the set plays, both goals scored by Valdano. Good jumping by the South Korean defense, but a chance for a volley, and high and wide. And World Cup 86 on CBC Sports.
Hij had de bal niet juist in de klauw. Ook veel Koreaanse supporters, die heeft hij nog niet in beeld gezien, betrekkelijk veel dan toch. Die komen dan niet uit Korea, maar uit een grote Zuid-Koreaanse kolonie van LA. En dat is maar een drietal uurtjes vliegen hier vandaag. Maradona, meest van de bal, krijgt hij terug van Pascoli. En ligt alweer neer. Daar is Choi. Aandachtig kijken. Maar die is niet alleen. Al vergevorderde onderhandelingen met de Braziliaanse Bangu hebben we kunnen vernemen. Choi en nog vele andere kapers op de loer. Veel managers natuurlijk, al managers van enige naam aan.
Back in Olympic Stadium in Mexico City. Argentina 2, Republic of South Korea 0. Shah. Nice support. Kim Yo-sung showing his pace down that left flank. Trying to get that cross in. Very little help from his teammates, but very good coverage by two determined Argentinian defenders. Here's Chang Sun Park to take this throw. An effort to try and turn, successful, getting the cross in, but not enough strength in numbers. Two South Koreans against one Argentinian defender there, and the defender won out, but his clearance possession to South Korea. Long safe pass back, and we learn from Irapuato that the Soviet Union have gone ahead 3-0, the third one on a penalty. So Soviet Union certainly impressing themselves in the group that Canada are in. Canada, France, Soviet Union and Hungary, and Soviet Union giving Hungary a rare lesson, 3-0 ahead in the first half. But here, back at Olympic Stadium, Mexico City, Argentina 2-0 ahead, both goals by Valdano, and having a relatively easy time of it with this South Korean 11.
It almost seems, Jeff, that South Korea is content to try and play like the Argentinians, and instead of we're hoping to see, and we've been told that they're very quick and fast breaking, but they haven't showed us that yet.
And Pasculi battles from behind. Certain tendency on the part of the South American players to dramatize tackles, and therefore the referee has got to be very careful in his judgment. But certainly the earlier ones that we have seen would suggest that he has been exceptionally lenient thus far. So Maradona again. Two high-jumping South Korean defenders. But in fact, the Argentinian was pushing, and therefore it will be a kick to South Korea. Young-se trying a long ball forward. Valdano running, trying to outpace the defense. Now a chance to take him on. Argentina pushing that ball back for the supporting back four. Gorochaga. Maradona. Looking for his forward, moving to space. Valdano, but the goalkeeper coming out and collects Young Seo-oh. Ray muffing that shot completely. Argentinians really under no major pressure with a comfortable 2-goal lead and able to play with a certain amount of relaxation. Loads of time, and South Korea not offering them any threat at all as they try to move the ball out. Just this occasional threat of a fast break, which thus far the Argentinians have been well capable of handling. Maradona with lots of time and space, playing a gentle interpassing game as they move into the Korean half. Now the Korean defense masses. Argentina look for gaps.
The Argentine team here is just knocking the ball around at will, and Korea, of course, they've got the second half left to go, but they're going to have to start coming forward a little bit. At 2 goals down, they don't have a whole lot to lose.
It's away from that challenge. Took too much on when he should have been looking for his support.
The referee did very well there. Of course, Maradona, being the superstar that he is a lot of South Americans are very good actors and hoping to draw penalties when they get in that penalty box.
Certain amount of speculation with that long ball. There were 3 Argentinian defenders there. A 3-to-1 ratio is not a good bet. Kick to Argentina. South Korea seems to be despairing a little, leaving their 2 front runners in almost splendid isolation and completely overwhelmed numerically by this Argentinian defense. They've got to try to settle down and not put balls forward on pure speculation. That was a good ball to Maradona, but he was unable to do much with it. That's better play. They're looking and finding their men, trying to build up. That's better. Much more of a threat, and they've gained a corner from that. And the Labatt TV series returns in a moment.
Is dat hier vandaag speelt. Ik was dan even naar boven de 37e breedtegraad opgeschoven, maar dat zal de invloed van de zon zijn die er doorkomt hier. Maradona. Beginnen met minder complexe te spelen. Dat is show nummer 1, 14 en met het nummer 4 is show nummer 2. Van Parquet naar show nummer 1. Als die nu Kim 1 kon winnen, die staat dieper. Voilà, ze kunnen ook bal houden. Argentijnen zien daar geen graten in. Daar is al wat anders. Dat was Chabum die meegepakt werd. Dat is Parquet. Chabum.
Back in the Olympic Stadium, Mexico City. Score still 2-0. Argentina content to play this game at a gentle pace and not take too much out of themselves. Pasculi was too far forward and the linesman's flag went up for offside. 10 minutes more of this first half to play with a 2-goal lead for Argentina. Scores by Valdano in both cases. Koreans not offering any major threat. And Argentina content to play the game at this easy pace when it can become, in fact, a quite useful training session for them with a lot of competition left in this World Cup, as they are one of the favoured teams. 6 teams only have won the World Cup, and one would believe that the winner this year will come from those 6 teams.
I think the big thing that Argentina has to do here is stay disciplined and stay and play the way which they are playing now, which is relatively easy for them, but not to get into that habit too much, because I'm sure they're going to have some tougher games down the road. There again, we shouldn't write the Koreans off. There's still a second half to go, and we know that they can be an exciting team.
Here for Park Chung-sung, but too many Argentinian defenders. Now a chance of a quick breakaway, but number 14, Justi, obstructed there, and so it's a kick for Argentina. Still looking for help. No urgency at all in this Argentinian play. The great Daniel Passarella, of course, was unfit for this match. He has had some stomach problems and has lost some weight, and as a result he's not 100% fit, and the Argentinians therefore left him out of this match. And if there was one match where the great defender who loves to come forward, Daniel Passarella, could be missing, it's certainly this one. Gives him an extra few days to recover and gives the Argentinians a chance to try another defender into their lineup. Koreans seem to be somewhat overawed by the fact that they are already 2 goals down, and instead of playing like a team, we're seeing a series of individual efforts. And while occasionally individual efforts are absolutely critical and can mean the difference between winning and losing a game and breaking a game open, certainly against a side like this, And with the whole of the second half still to go, these individual efforts are unlikely to yield results. But from this kick, they may have a chance. Over the head of both defenders and attackers, and runs rather lamely into touch, and the Argentinians in absolutely no hurry at all to take this throw-in. The crowd getting a little restive about this.
As we have the wave starting in the stadium.
Crowd perhaps hoping that they can inspire a little more action into this game. More writhing and acting from Diego Maradona.
I think there may be a little bit of acting in that one. I think the tackle was a harsh one, but I don't think it was that harsh. One of the, I guess, problems of being a big superstar, as Maradona is, that he's going to get some very special attention, and a lot of it sometimes can be very harsh.
This is where the referees have a very, very important responsibility to protect all players. And if they are being fouled, and these fouls are clear transgressions of the rules, then the referees have it in their power to do something about it. And so far, as we've said before, this referee has been quite lenient. It may well be that with a comfortable 2-goal lead, the Argentinians will decide to rest Maradona in the second half to save him from further unnecessary punishment, because I'm sure they have enough talent in their replacement ranks to do this. Maradona well out on the right-hand touchline, possibly to take a rest and also to keep out of trouble a little bit. About 4 minutes left in this first half. Scored 2-0 in favor of Argentina. Those goals resulting, in fact, from fouls on Maradona, and the resulting set plays producing indirectly in the first case and then directly a goal. Close attention by the Korean players again, resulting in yet another free kick for Argentina. Some idea of the lack of urgency in this game when you have 4 Argentinians crowding around the ball from a free kick. No urgency to move up front at all.
I think when you're winning, as Argentina are so comfortably, in a game like this, everybody wants the ball all the time. It's a little bit different sometimes when you're losing 2-0, because a lot of people aren't looking for the ball. But right now, Argentina in control of this game very easily.
And Kyung-hoon Park, the victim of that particular foul. And Young-se with the ball. Now Korea trying to move that ball around a little more like a team. There's one of the more colourful goalkeeping jerseys that we've seen in the competition. Owned by Pompidou, who's not had a difficult game at all. Valdano and Chusti, but badly played ball, giving the Koreans a chance for a long ball. To no avail. Argentina now in possession. Maradona this time struck in the face, and I think at last we're going to see a yellow card. Yes, indeed. That's about the 6th foul on Maradona this half. And young Wu gets the yellow card.
Maradona beat him well, nutmegged him, and then he just reached his arm out and just gave him a little tap in the face, I think. Maradona is the type of player I don't think you want to rush in on too fast. The man has so much talent that, you know, he can make you look a little foolish, and I think the Korean, just through frustration, reached out to have a smack at him there.
Cheney there wasting that ball completely. There's the last attack, perhaps, or last attempted attack of the South Koreans in this half, as the seconds tick away. The referee's already checked his watch once. For any moment now, we're going to hear the whistle for the end of the first 45 minutes. Long, somewhat tentative ball, which Clausen tries to let it run. It won't, so he crosses it and very luckily gets a goal kick from it. We're almost a minute over the 45 minutes which has been allowed, but there's the whistle. The end of half-time with the score Argentina 2, South Korea 0. A rather unenterprising first half. Argentina.
Maar Sanchez Arminio heeft zoveel dorst als wij blijkbaar. Aan het einde van de eerste helft, met dus doelpunten van Valdano in de 8e minuut. Dat was met de voet. En dan 10.
Atención.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ahí va Narciso. Ahí está ya Narciso.
Sí, dígame. Sí. No, lo escucho por fullback, por los dos, sí. Ah, supuestamente este es el 2. Bueno. Bueno, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. ¿No me escucha? Bueno. Ahí estoy. A ver, ahí le va el 1.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
¿Está bien el 2? 2. No tengo regreso, No me abre el auxiliar 2, por favor. Bueno. Ok, ahora sí. Está un poquito alto, pero yo acá le bajo en la caja. Sí. Ahí estoy. A ver, Alan. No escucho a Alan. Es el 3. Mande. Es el 3. No entra ese micro.
1.
Ahí
2,
está.
Ahí está.
Okay.
3.
Sí, está perfecto. Tienes regreso, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Ok. ¿Quiere checar el 4, el de mano? ¿Quiere checar el 4? Ahí va. El 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Ahí le están
6,
hablando.
7. Bueno, sí. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Bueno. ¿Escucha, señor Rivas? Ahí estoy en el 2. ¿Sí escuchó el 3? ¿Sí lo escuchó? Háblale más fuerte y pégate el micro así como yo, mira. Aquí. Eso.
2,
Háblale fuerte, fuerte.
3, 4,
Eso.
5, 6, 7.
Ok. Ahí le va el 4.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Ok.
5.
Ok. Mande. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? Señor Riva. Ahí estamos. Ok.
Argentina against South Korea. Argentina leading 2-0. Barry Davis is the commentator.
Welcome to the stadium, made famous for Britain by David Hemry, who won the 400 metres hurdles here in the 1968 Olympic Games at 48.1, and of course by the American Bob Beamon, who leapt out of the long jump pit down below us with a distance of 29 feet 2.5 inches. But in the World Cup of 1986, Argentina, champions in 1978, are leading South Korea by 2-0, and for them it's a question of putting a few goals in the bank, with Italy and Bulgaria still to be faced, and really for South Korea, who started tentatively, very much on the defence, and found themselves a goal down after 6 minutes. Really, it's up to them to chance their arm and show us what they can do. South Korea playing from left to right as we look, and the temperature out there in the middle is not too far away from 100 degrees. This is Brown, number 5, in the side in place of Passarella. It's been the sort of fixture that Argentina can happily do without their experienced player at the back, Daniel Passarella, because they've not been put under any real pressure at all. And it's our first view of Maradona in the second half, and Valdano makes it 3. All too easy, and that time he didn't stand on ceremony, he just tapped it away. But the goal made by one of the great players of world football, Diego Maradona. Change of pace, a lovely cross. The goalkeeper probably should have cut it out, and maybe 1, if not 2, defenders. But it's Argentina 3, South Korea 0.
A great illustration there of this acceleration, comes across the goal, and Valdano tapping it in from the sort of range that I think we'd all like to put them in. But again, a classic example is the acceleration. Also, he's using his right foot. Some say he's all left foot, but there he goes to the byline and whips it in with his right foot. And although you must look at the keeper, who did flap a little bit as it came across.
Keith Birkinshaw, in his time as manager of Bahrain, said of South Korea that every time they go out onto the field, they seem to be having a birthday party. Well, their first match in the '86 World Cup, I'm afraid it's a party in which they're crying a bit. Clearance by Brown. This fixture, I remind you, in Group A, same group as Italy and Bulgaria, who drew in the opening fixture. And a rare opportunity for Pompidou, the Argentine goalkeeper, to get a feel of the ball. He hasn't seen much of it. South Korea have made a substitution, bringing on Byung-Ju for the 6'4" defender, who was given a midfield role and then a marking role and not happy with either. Kim Young-se. Here's Maradona again. Substitution just being made over the public address system. Kim Young-se off, in his place Byung-Ju. Here's Garé for Argentina. We also have a couple of substitutes warming up down in front of us. I think we may get a chance of seeing Claudio Borghi. This is Burruchaga. Valdano, number 11, with the opportunity of scoring the first hat-trick of this World Cup. Here he is. Marked by Park Chang-sung. And the free kick rightly given. And the yellow card shown to Park Chang-sung, the second South Korean player to be booked. In the first half, Hu Young-moo was booked for a not particularly pleasant challenge on Maradona. Here's the substitute. Valdano plays for Real Madrid. Indeed, in his 2 seasons there, has managed a total of 36 goals. 2 already in this World Cup. It's a marvellous open stadium, this. We're all out sitting in warm sunshine. Stadium which so tested the distance runners back in 1968, notably Ron Clark. Maradona with a free kick. Fooled them all. They thought he was going to cross it area. They've got a cue there for put it away. I think it was Chung Yong-hwan who got it away. Valdano walking so slowly. It's lucky not to be caught offside. A free kick given anyway. South Korea making their second appearance in the World Cup in 1954. They conceded 9 goals to Hungary and 7 to Turkey. But they represent here, as one of the Asian teams, they represent 1/2 of the world's population. Qualified by beating Malaysia and Nepal, although they lost in Malaysia, which brought the change of manager, and then they won both their matches against first Indonesia and then Japan. Argentina hardly qualified in style. They were 2-1 down to Peru in their own stadium at the River Plate with 10 minutes left, but they got the equaliser and went through without having to be involved in a second place playoff. Min-kook, Chusti, Maradona. Dear, oh dear. The referee allows the advantage, or has he? No, he hasn't. He's given the free kick. Pity, really. It's the sort of situation the referee can never win. Diego Maradona, now 25 years old. He's had 4 years of football in Europe with Barcelona and Naples since the last World Cup. Used to being pulled around and kicked, I would think. Still sad that it happens so often. Free kick this time for a bit of pulling on Pasculi. Now what can Maradona create from here? They want an extra man in the wall, and you can hear noise, it's just quite right to describe it as a roar, but sound of anticipation that Maradona might do something spectacular. Here he comes. The goalkeeper, as he has all the way through the match, electing to punch when he could surely have caught that, but I think he might have been a little bit concerned about the spin. Could have embarrassed him. It's again a free kick to Argentina. Coming up to the 10th minute of the second half. Argentina 3, South Korea 0. Another chance for Maradona. The referee telling Maradona to wait a minute as he pulls the wall back. 6 men in it. Tusti has joined us as well, and he's being pushed forward as the wall comes forward. And I think it's still a problem getting a wall at 10 yards.
Well, that one was 4 or 5 yards at best, and all through the first half, there were 3 or 4 occasions, but certainly just time lapse at the moment. There you see Maradona, he takes all the free kicks, all the corner kicks. Captain tosses us a coin. I should think you need a good rest this evening, Barry.
Pasculi. Oh, he was waiting in the 6-yard area, but really that was a quite awful corner by Maradona. There was nobody there to collect that angle. Here's the young student from the University of Chosun, Kim Yo-sung, finding Cha Bum-kung. Ah! Pompidou. Making life made a little bit difficult for him by his own defender, Garre. Gives me a chance to get the name of the sweeper from Leverkusen in the Bundesliga the right way around. The emphasis is so similar on all 3 words, but I suppose that's no excuse, but the real name is Cha Bum-kun. Larsen taking his time, and Pasculi well offside. Pace of the game understandable in this heat. Here's Cha Bum-kun again. Whistles for the finish from Chae Soon-ho, but the 2 of them really haven't been given the support from players coming forward that they have deserved, and arguably they are the 2 best players in the side. But they haven't troubled Hector Pompidou. Goalkeeper having to wait while the ball is retrieved. A new one arrived, which, if Mexico is not different from every other country in the world, will mean that the other one comes back. Yes, it does. Plays for River Plate and was the 3rd choice behind Fiol in 1982. He then followed Fiol to River Plate when Fio went abroad to Spain, plays for Atletico Madrid. Suddenly they got 4 against 1. Clausen still with time to cross it. Valdano, and the judge to have held down the man with whom he was making the challenge. A free kick to South Korea. The referee incidentally comes from Spain, Victoriano Sanchez, and the 2 linesmen from Paraguay and Colombia. Here's Pasculi trying to catch a goalkeeper off his line after the mistake by Chung Young-hwan. Pasculi plays for Lecce in Italy. His departure to that club certainly gave some pace to the career of Claudio Borghi. Batista. Name that the French commentators had a certain amount of fun with when France played Argentina. Last match for both before this World Cup. It's Cho Kwang-rae. Wasn't in the starting lineup, which certainly surprised Trevor Brooking. He'd seen them a couple of times in training. The arrival of Byung-byung-jo has given South Korea something close to a third man forward. It's Chae Sun-ho. Ruggieri with him, didn't need to make the challenge. Kun, a bit more space than usual, taking on Batista. Burruchaga to Pasculi. As the wave of noise and movement goes around the stadium again. Here's Valdano, Cho Kwang-rae covering well. Very industrious little player. He and his captain, Park Chang-sung, both 32 years old. Both play for the same club, Daewoo Royals, who are the Asian Club champions. And the fact that the manager, Kim Young-nam, decided not to pair them at the start of the match really rebounded on him, because the fellow chosen to mark Maradona really didn't have a clue as to what was required of him. South Korean free kick, taken by the skipper. Cha Bum-kun in the middle. So he gets it through to him eventually. It's a rare opportunity that he's had, and he didn't make the most of it.
As you said, though, in the first half they did lack support. They've already used their 2 substitutes, and both the lads who went off were in fact defenders. First of all was number 12 who tried to do a man-to-man job on Maradona, and he went after about 20 minutes, and then the tall number 20 tried to do it, and then he's taken off at half-time, so there might be a message there somewhere. But certainly Argentina now just stroking it around. A great game for them just to enter the tournament, 3-0, and the opportunity, as we say, to get 1 or 2 extra goals in the bag.
We passed the 2/3 point of the contest, a little over an hour gone. Hardly a breath of wind, the flags all around the stadium, barely moving. Mr. Clausen takes the throw. Burruchaga plays his football in France for Nantes. Valdano, who plays for Real Madrid, is calling for the ball forward. Pasculi, Giusti. Maradona. Wanted to go alone, wanted a free kick. Didn't win on either point. José Luis Brown. Sergio Batista. Valdano. The South Korean side looks better balanced for the changes. But they've got more than one parallel to clear. Byung-bum Jo going for the return. Gary with him. South Korean showing a bit of pace, but not able to pull his cross back enough. But they undoubtedly look a better side when they're prepared to go forward. Defensively, they're a little naive, a little suspect in the air. And indeed, as we saw from the third goal to the low cross. Maradona. Batista. Clausen. Gary available on this side. Bruchaga. Running into trouble. And the free kick is given. A quick word from the referee to Kim Yo-sung. Maradona. Park Kyung-hun with him. Quite literally, they're linking arms at the moment. He's forcing Maradona away, but not by fair means in the end. It's the third man really that they've chosen to get as close to Maradona as possible. The other two palpably failed. Maybe Park Kyung-hun was taking the instructions a little too literally. Scooty in the middle, Bruchaga in possession. And still, it's a corner. I'm wondering what the noise is in the background, as if you can hear it. There's a drummer accompanied by the bugler. Both, would you believe, supporting Argentina. Ruzari has come up into the area again. Doesn't get the header this time, but Giusti did. It was only a yard or so away. Ricardo Giusti plays for Independiente. Again, the challenge in the air from the South Koreans was a little late, but did enough to force a slight misdirection of the header. Giusti, Maradona, Pasculi in a certain amount of room. 4 to find, unless he wants to go it alone. Oh! And even the great are fallible. And listen to the reaction from the crowd. The Mexicans commenting on the faults of an Argentine. Maradona was kicked very hard on the knee in the opening moments of the match, but hasn't had any lasting problems for it. Oh Yun-kyo. It's good distance. Pasculi. One of those really playing for his place in the lineup against Italy, Pasculi. Brown. Gare. Giusti. slip pass from Maradona. Didn't quite come off. Min-guk trying to spread it wide. Cha Bum-kun down the middle. And a bit of pushing and shoving, and the free kick is given to South Korea. Just on the edge of the area. Opportunity for Cha Bum-kun to have another go. But the free kick was given for a challenge on Byung-byung-ju. It may perhaps provide a test for Pompidou. Kim Hyo-sung, number 16, also in the area. As we move into the last quarter of the match, we're halfway through the second half. And the Italian, the Argentine team almost lining up for a team photograph here. Pompidou is fairly happy, it seems. It will need the most enormous swerve to get the ball round the left man as we look. Right, we'll go the other way. Chae Sun-ho who hit it. Pity really, no test for the goalkeeper. Pace this player they brought on, Byung-byung-ju, and he's done well. Oh, and the opportunity wasted. Chae Sun-ho, after some good work on the right, and he acknowledges the fact that he didn't make the most of that. Really good pace, it was a good cross too, it was a dummy run, and then the shot wide. It's the best attack the South Koreans have put together, I think.
He's got a little bit of pace there on 19, who's coming at half-time, and a couple of times now he's got to the byline, and just for once they had the extra man up front. But a good opportunity, but he just put it wide.
It's Valdano. Scorer of 2. Pasculi is well offside. Behind me in the commentary position is Cesar Luis Menotti, who managed the successful Argentine side of 1978. And succeeded by Carlos Bilardo after the 82 tournament in Spain. Surprisingly, they're feeding this right side. That's a foul by Gare. And I think we're going to have an Argentine substitution any minute now. Park Chang-sung spreading the ball rather more widely than they did in the first period. Suggesting they were good enough to beat Argentina, but they might have done better if they'd have started with rather more ambition. Definitely started with an inferiority complex designed to stop the other side. And Pompidou concedes the corner. Skipper's come to take it, Park Chang-sung. Sort of thing they were doing with great success in practice. Just proves the difference between warm-up games and the real thing. Struck the ball first time on the volley with great ferocity. Cha Bum-kun. Chago got in the way. Valdano. It's Not a good pass, and the Argentines having a rather lazy period at the moment. Chabun Kung looked as though he was pushed a bit by Brown, who's struggling all the way, and it needed a good save to deny Kim Il-sung. And it's good to see the Koreans having a go. In fact, it's causing sufficient alarm to Argentina that they're prepared to bring on another defender. Shea again, and the skipper, yes, he scored! Park Jang-sung, and listen to the delight in the crowd. Well, you have to say they deserve it. A little man came forward and drove an unstoppable shot into the top corner. Park Jang-sung has done something that none of his countrymen has ever done before. He has scored in a World Cup match in the finals. I suppose it's right that the captain should score. And the Argentine first substitution is in fact a midfield player, but he's replacing a forward. Tapia coming on. Carlos Daniel Tapia. And plays for Boca Juniors. I don't think too many in the crowd care about that, because they're now getting behind South Korea to suggest to them they could do the impossible. Come back from 3 goals down. Well, it would change the story, because you can remember their North Country brethren, if brethren is the right word, were 3 goals up for a place in the semi-final in 1966, and then lost 5-3 to Portugal, and in particular Eusebio. Discussions with the referee and Valdano. The crowd's certainly reacting well now in support of the Koreans, and it looks as though Batista is coming off, and I don't know what Trevor feels about it, but I feel it's just a little unfair, with all these difficult names from South Korea, that the Argentines should bring on a man who rejoices in the name of Ola Ticochea. And here is Valdano. No power in the shot, went for the side foot. So it's certainly a more defensive Argentine lineup now. Young-woo, Jung Young-hwan, Pompidou coming for it. He felt that he was hipped or armed a little bit then by Choi Sun-ho. Into the last quarter of an hour of the contest. South Korea 1, Argentina 3.
It was great to see South Korea score there. The number 10, Park, I think just illustrates to all the watching players in the tournament how the ball does fly when you catch hold of it. That's the first real one that's come from a distance, and the keeper stood no chance as it went in from the angle. Argentina now with their 2 subs on, probably hoping to play out time. But when we think of 78, the lad on the ball now, Barrett Sugar, he's impressed me during the game, and the 1986 version of Ricky Villa just went off. Batista's had a good game as well.
Yes, I haven't yet, though, seen in midfield, Trevor, and I'm sure you would agree, a player to match Osvaldo Ardiles. Tusti to Ola Ticochea. No, it's not, it's Tapia. It's Burchaga. And Valdano with the opportunity of a hat-trick. I'll take a chair. Incidentally, his parents came from the Basque region of Spain. He was in the squad in 1982, but he didn't play. Jomin Cook. Kwangray. It's a nice build-up. And Brown clears. Maradona. Park Kyung-hun. Nobody following up. Brazili. This could be a straight run. And the whistle's going. Valdano comes inside. And the shot came from Tapia. A certain amount of complaining going on by the Koreans. Certainly the man who took the full weight of that shot will need attention. He also needs identification, but I confess that I'm struggling from this angle. But I'll hazard a guess that it's Jomin Cook. Tapia's shot hit him just around the midriff. Inviting the Korean to disappear, the Korean not wanting to go until he was given his sponge back. And the injured Jomin Cook back on his feet. That was a good climb by Chung Yong-hwan. Valdano, that's the goalkeeper's. Spectacularly done. Oh, he would have enjoyed that moment, just as Park Chang-sung would have enjoyed his goal. Maybe Keith Birkinshaw was right. A side that enjoy their football. Just a pity that they weren't prepared to put their party hats on a little bit earlier and give Argentina a greater test. Has impressed me, I must say, Kim Yoo-sung, and that's a free kick. Fouled by Chusti. The youngest player in the team, Kim Yoo-sung, 20 years old. It's his 11th cap for his country. Came on the tour of Mexico that South Korea made a year ago and scored twice in 3 games. It was a good run and absolutely no attempt to play the ball by Chusti. A bit surprised that the referee didn't feel that was worth a yellow card. Jae Kim, the Mexicans calling him. Trouble with settling for Kims. There are so many Kims and so many Chos, it would be all Kim and Cho all the way through the match. Free kick to be taken from, what, about 40 yards? I thought it was a bit further forward than the referee has put the ball down. Now is he going to get the ball back further? It's taken quickly anyway. Offside. It's a good save anyway, but it was offside against Byung-ju. Very good reactions from the goalkeeper, but no question about the offside. contributions best known to himself, ran about 30 yards to do that, which in these temperatures borders on the ludicrous. Valdano doesn't seem to have been too concerned about getting his name in the record books with a hat-trick. Ray. Cha Bun-kung being watched by Oratikochea. Away by Ruggieri. No chance for Choi Soon-ho to collect that. And he complains about the quality of the pass. Some players do enough running, being expected to get onto the running track to collect the ball. Stopia. Valdano, the lone forward now. We're seeing very little of Maradona. Little chunky man going through the paces a little bit, just easing along. Park Kyung-hoon. Free kick against Gary. It really has been the way that Byung-byung-ju has attacked Gary, which has opened the game up for South Korea, given them more to enjoy. Tremendous lead. Fine save from Byung-byung-ju. And the whistles for the linesman's decision that was an Argentine throw. 5 minutes left. The result looking to be the one that was expected. Side of great experience in World Cup finals, Argentina, winners in '78. Beating the outsiders from Korea. But it's not been quite as comfortable for them in the second half, for all the fact that they've not exerted themselves too greatly. Maradona. And he gets the free kick. There was no room for manoeuvre. There were legs all around him. Chaga to take it eventually. Far greater confidence, and the passing being greeted with some oles from the Mexican crowd. Chung Young-hwan. Maradona, fine early ball for Valdano. Uruchaga lolloping towards the middle. This is Chusti. Nobody for the far post cross. Tapia, Maradona taking over. Argentine's going nowhere fast. Here's Oratikochea. Seen too much of the ball, brought on mainly to cancel the threat of Cha Bun-kung. Chusti. Ruggieri, scorer of one of the goals. The other two by Valdano. Maradona might have a go. Thought about it. Well policed away by Park Kyung-hoon. A little over 3 minutes left, an Argentine corner. No No doubt that they're going to take over the leadership of Group A. A few whistles for the delay in taking the corner. Eventually to be Carlos Tapia to take it. Well, they've improved during the course of the match in the air, South Koreans. Tapia. Chusti going to try one. Goalkeeper well forward of the 6-yard line. Cho Min Cook.
Well, with the last couple of minutes being played out, Argentina, quite a comfortable win, really. Been put under a bit of pressure in this second half. 1 or 2 anxious moments and 1 or 2 tackles in the first and second half where they were a little bit cynical, and one wonders when the going gets a little bit tougher, what they will resort to. But South Korea, a lot better in the second half, really lost the game in the first 20 minutes when they were very defensive, obviously worried about the opposition. And once they've settled down and tried to play their own natural game, they've looked much happier, really, and hopefully that'll put them in good stead for the next game against Bulgaria, I think, their second game.
Kim Young-sung really has had a fine game. Choi Sun-ho. Chung Kwang-rae. Offside. Well, I must say, if the Koreans are more prepared to chance their arm in their other 2 matches, might make for an interesting contest when they play the Italians, with the Italians, after dropping a point in the opening fixture, maybe needing to do well. I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 will have memories of a certain Pak Duik from North Korea in 1966 at Middlesbrough. Park Chang-sung. Play by Choi Sun-ho. Again, the flag up for offside. As the 90 minutes are up on our watch. Just a couple of injuries that the referee from Spain would have allowed for. Kick for the challenge on Valdano by Chung Yong-hwan. And more time to be allowed. Referee, as yet, not allowing either trainer on the pitch. And it doesn't look as though he's going to. And Burruchaga about to lift Valdano to his feet. This all seems a little unnecessary, really, unless one of them is badly hurt. It's just adding the seconds. FIFA official on the touchline refusing to let the trainers come on until the referee allows them to do so. But in fact, this is producing a rather longer hold-up than had he let the expertise be used. The referees told to allow 2 men to come on, and only a few seconds, and then there will be a stretcher used. The referee from Spain has adjudged it right. Neither was dying, so the match can continue. Ball ending with Maradona, and the result has gone to the form book, 3-1 to Argentina, but South Korea had their first goal in World Cup finals football.
Goal in World Cup finals football, and playing in the second half with the sort of confidence and pace that we had been